Cathie is an expert on short-term trends who has predicted market crashes and successes. She spotted the lumber crisis a couple months ago, but ARK ETFs have rebounded even sooner than she expected following their correction. One of the most successful futurists in history, Cathie Wood has predicted many things, including long-term movements on a global scale. In 1980, she spotted what would be called the Internet now, before it had its own name, and coined that term while working at GEC. Her other predictions include how mobile technology will change our lives as we know them, with apps like Instagram or WhatsApp. And now she has an even bigger prediction. In this video, I'll show you how Cathie believes one industry is going to be 130 times larger in the next 10 years and lay the groundwork for an explosion in various sectors. Welcome to Financial Market TV. If you're new to the channel and enjoy content like this, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. Also, please don't hesitate to share your comments down below and give this video a like. Let's get started. As an academic that specializes in innovation, Cathie would see the S-curve in all innovative items. Essentially, S-curve describes the shape of the innovative products and when they are first introduced, or when they destroyed their old inefficient counterparts, as demonstrated in this graph. Slow growth occurs when a new product is worse than the original. As costs decline and new technology emerges, however, growth quickens before slowing down. At the start of the S-curve, not many people understand the product's potential. For example, when Cathie looked at industries and no other analysts wanted to look at it, she predicted the first version of the internet, just like how EVs did a decade ago. The S-curve is an event that has happened many times already with the telephone, electricity, the internet, air conditioners, dishwashers, microwaves, and many other products. However, after reading the comments of other consumers, she believed that this time is somewhat unique because innovation platforms are coming together to accelerate growth at a whole new level. The 5 innovation platforms in today's world, according to ARK Invest, are blockchain technology, genome sequencing, artificial intelligence, energy storage, and bioengineering, which you will notice is not only is each platform replacing old sectors, but they're merging. Genome sequencing is also being used in tandem with AI and robotics to revolutionize the way we detect illness. Cathie feels that these industries will collaborate to increase the speed of each S-curve. However, once a potential market has been identified and researched, there are still many hurdles to overcome. For innovation platforms, this means convincing naysayers in the beginning. Following are Cathie's exact words: stocks have to fall through the gaps owing to a misconception of what's going on. This may be seen in genomics since few people think that genomics is our future. Many people, rightly so, would find such a program as intimidating. This is all going to tie together very soon though. So this idea of falling through cracks was the earliest manifestation of what we're seeing now, turbocharged, and that's the convergence between and among technologies that have been created. One S-curve feeding another and an explosion in innovation. So the 5 platforms serve as a very good example of convergence. There are several areas where current innovation platforms overlap, but one industry in particular Cathie regards as the pinnacle of all inventions. That sector is autonomous driving. You may have formed preconceptions and could believe that self-driving technology is decades away, but this is after all the nature of prejudice. Prejudice against individuals with disabilities is nothing new. Just like the beginning of all S-curves, autonomous driving is worse than humans driving, which means that there's slow growth. The market for autonomous driving is anticipated to grow $54 billion in 2019. In 2021, however, Cathie predicts that the market will be worth $7 trillion in annual revenue by 2030 or 31, which is a 130 times increase. But why is she so sure about this forecast? Autopilot is already a reality in many segments of the transportation business, from commercial trucking to ride services like Uber and Lyft. In fact, autonomous vehicles are getting better every year. When autonomous vehicles are 2 times better than people, the S-curve's rapid growth begins. At first, not everyone will believe in autonomous driving, but as these vehicles become better and better, the adoption rate on the S-curve will explode. The question shouldn't be whether autonomous vehicles will become better than normal ones. The issue is not if it'll be better than people, but the question is, when will they be superior? While impressive, already the skills of a human driver is stagnant and have major flaws. The rate at which AI improves is astounding. Meanwhile, the autonomous cars are getting more and more skilled. This is comparable to how the internal combustion engine has remained relatively stagnant in the recent years. Electric motors are becoming more efficient and faster over time. with essentially complete adoption expected. We just don't have autonomous taxi networks that combine the convergence of three platforms. Autonomous vehicles are energy storage and will be electric. That will be the most cost-effective form of transportation, and AI will power these driverless cars. We think this will be a $7 trillion revenue opportunity in 10 years, which is bigger than the energy industry today, even after this latest price increase. But the market is quickly expanding, and there's a lot of potential in the area. It's worth a small fortune. Many automakers have begun the race to full self-driving cars with such a large market opening for autonomous driving. Not surprisingly, Cathie sees Tesla as a leader of full self-driving in the world. She believes that there may be additional winners in various locations such as Asia or Europe, but Tesla is focusing on the US for full self-driving right now. And ultimately, it depends on whether other companies can keep up with the pace using LiDAR, which only works for geofenced areas. According to Cathie, she wants their firm to be putting up a lot of money into research and development rather than short-term profit, for them to capitalize on some of the opportunities. Cathie thinks that autonomous taxi networks will submit to natural geographic monopolies. The winners will be those who invest the most aggressively in AI, data gathering, robotics expertise, software as a service competence, and of course, battery technology. She believes Tesla will take home the win for the US. They're looking at cruise automation, which GM owns, among other things. She believes that Tesla is still in the prime position, based on what we can tell. Autonomous driving isn't the only sector that is likely going to hit mass adoption. There was one key concept and invention to grasp: escape velocity. That is required for an object to leave a planet or break away from its gravitational pull in physics. Cathie applies this concept to curves, because the beginning of stage 2 in an S-curve is escape velocity, because once the beginning of that state occurs, then the innovative product takes for the win. When a new product or service has 10 to 20% market penetration, it usually reaches escape velocity. It's just a coincidence that the pandemic has pushed several goods to the necessary market share for the EVs in e-commerce, as two prominent examples. In Cathie's perspective, EVs have benefited tremendously from the pandemic. Analysts expect sales to accelerate at a greater speed than they are projecting. Thus, the stock price has soared high and faster than anticipated. She thinks many people during the pandemic came out of it very surprised to learn that online retail in the US was less than 50% of total retail. But it seemed Cathie doesn't go to stores anymore since COVID bumped that up to about 20% in the United States. She believes that EV sales globally are up to 33% in a year than gas-powered, which were said to go down 10%. So that shift is taking place. She never thought that the pandemic would cause this, but as people decided that they wanted to avoid mass transit and needed another car. As we speak, it has been at least a decade since various nations began to take action. It is really hard to predict when this will come to an end and how long it'll last, but once that happened, the shift towards EVs accelerated, especially in China, who is offering subsidies so that the escape velocity in electric vehicles seems to have been forced earlier than normally would be the case by the coronavirus and by subsidies in China. The world is going to change dramatically as these innovative platforms surface. Disruptive technologies in the areas of autonomous driving, AI, robots, and genome sequencing are impacting a variety of industries. Internal combustion engines are being threatened by EVs. AIs is disrupting basic human logic analysis and tasks. Most of the time, we don't even know exactly where these S-curves will explode. That's where your decision comes in. Thanks for watching the whole video. Again, if you're new and like this type of content, subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to leave a comment down below and hit that like button. Also, click on the notification bell to get updated on our weekly uploads. See you in the next video.